Greetings, wonderful well-beings. Welcome back to the channel, guys. I'm Key, and welcome back to the Oracle Space. And I was just not about to do this video because my ass came up on here and I looked at myself in the mirror and on the screen and I was like, girl, the skin, honey, it's an issue. I'm getting it together, but it was almost like, I can't do this. I can't even do it. But you know what? I decided to stop overthinking. And like I said in my last video, come as you are, come as I am. And just, because if I wait to look my best and wait till my skin clear up and my hair done and my eyebrows did, I'll be waiting forever because who knows when that'll happen. But it don't even matter. Like, I'm going to come and I'm going to just get into this video because I just got inspired to do it right now. I always constantly, watch Scorpio videos. So shout out to my Scorpios out there. You already know. And I'm a very self-investigative person. I like to find out a lot about self and deep stuff and shit like that. The whole thing that Scorpios are into. And I've learned so much about myself, man. And I'm a realist. Like, I feel like I'm not afraid to point out my dark side, my shadow side. And that's what this video is going to be about. Scorpio's shadow side, Scorpio's dark side, the things that people say about Scorpios. I watch a lot of videos and just got different perspectives and just compared them with my actual self and just what I think about stuff. And I'm going to just break it down in this video. So, like I was just saying about coming on here and being raw and just showing myself, it's very vulnerable. And Scorpios don't like to be vulnerable. It's a very uncomfortable place to be. It really is. And on my channel, I've been so vulnerable. I've showed so much. I've said so much. And I feel like sometimes I just got to back away because I feel like I put myself out there. And Scorpios don't like to be out there. They don't like to feel like, they feel like it's, they could easily be hurt or attacked, once, they show their soft side. It's easy for people to try to come in and manipulate that or, Scorpio trust issues. These are all things that I would say negative or considered negative Scorpio traits. We don't like to feel exposed and vulnerable. And I think I've learned just as trying to transcend the negative Scorpio traits that it is more empowering to embrace the shadow side and the things that I see as weaknesses. And once I actually accept them and can embrace them, I actually can transcend them and transmute and liberate myself by just accepting myself and being aware of who I am. And like I said, that's definitely one. Overthinking, just overthinking a lot. Scorpio is a really psychological sign. I don't hear that much, but I just know myself. I'm very psychological. Scorpio has a lot to do with the mind, and it's also emotions, the emotions in the mind. I would say like Virgo is like, I don't know if y'all know the story, but Virgo is like the light side and Scorpio is like the dark side, and then Libra is in the middle for balance or whatever. It's a whole mythology behind that. But like Virgo's a more surface and physical, about getting the physical work done and the outer work, and Scorpio is just about the inner work, the its own mind, the physical and emotional parts. Excuse me, and psychological, just the things that people deal with in their minds. And just me being a Scorpio, before I got into astrology, like I've always been this way, especially like introverted, quiet, shy kind of kid growing up, very observing, just trying to figure out life, just really inquisitive about life. And so from a young age, I was just very depressed. I just had really strong emotions and kind of dramatic, just feeling very deeply and not even, as a kid, not understanding what's going on, just really, I think just is a natural thing for Scorpios to kind of be attracted to, which is like to feel those dark emotions. And I think for me, I feel like it's empowering, and it gives a lot of it shines a lot of light to on the darkness, and makes us more aware, and can see who we really are. And I think it makes us more, it gives us more knowledge. And I feel like once that knowledge is actually, we know it, because we like to research so much. And I've even asked myself, like, why do you just go down into the rabbit hole? You go far, you go deep. And I know when to come out, actually, because, you know, I know now that it's important to come out. You can't stay in the rabbit hole all the time. It's very important that you come up and get some air. You got to get some air, because it's all in the mind. It's all imagination, and we have a very vivid imagination. That's why Scorpios are very creative. We're, you know, in the sacral, the root chakra, and all that creative energy. We're very creative, but we can sometimes use that dark energy, which is imagination, to go down the wrong mental portals and the imagination, and it could get real paranoid. It could get real dark. That's why we're just a very psychological sign, and I think it's important for us to know that the knowledge that comes with that, after so many years, of being in that rabbit hole and coming in and out and just being in that dark space and that depressive state. Now I know myself more to know that you have to come out of there. You have to get grounded in life. We're just not here to be in the, imagination and the psychological mind the whole time. We have to balance it out. But this is my gifts, I feel, because I have mostly water in my chart. You guys, I am a Scorpio Sun, Venus, Mercury, and Pluto. So I have a stellium in Scorpio, and most of my most of my major planets. So I feel like it's just a part of my life path personally. Maybe every Scorpio can't relate because you guys have different charts, but my part of my journey, I feel like, was definitely to learn myself and figure out and face my shadow and face my reflection and really know human mind. I feel like Scorpios is the sign to understand the minds of man, especially. That's just me personally on my journey. I just know that a big part of it for me is to learn myself and to know myself, and when I know myself, I know others, and it's a lot that comes with that. But I wrote down a few things. All right, that's the psychological thing. We're very intuitive, just sensitive, sensitive to other people's emotions, because I think we just have a natural ability to connect with other people, and we know emotions because we know ours so well. It's easy to read. It's easy to read people's body language, and to just know people's emotional state. I think when we talk about sensitivity, I think that's what it mostly means, like the sensitivity to others' energy, and it can really affect ours, but it's very weird because it's like contradicting, because it's like we want the dark side, we want to know, we want the emotional intensity, and at the same time we afraid, like we don't want to even be bothered by that shit. At the same time, it's crazy because it's like it's too much sometimes, but we like it at the same time. We want it because I think it just helps us transform in a way that it just brings us this knowledge of self, which is really, really powerful, once we know how to use it. And all right, I want to talk about this. I don't want to make this video too long, but I want to talk about the possessiveness of Scorpios, okay? Now, this is one that I really feel like is important because I know possessiveness so well. I know, my past relationships, I never got crazy, nigga, who you? Nah, okay, that was that one time. But I was pregnant, okay? But other than that, like, I was never one of those women who I feel like had to like put a chokehold on a nigga. But like, it was kind of like, it's not physical. Like, we don't express it in a physical way. Like, we don't really show it. We can keep it on a hush, you know, but it's more emotional and psychological and manipulative, emotionally manipulating. You know, when they talk about Scorpios being one of the most manipulative signs, it's emotional manipulation. We know what people want. We know what people want. We know we can figure out the desires of people, and that just in itself gives us a certain power over people sometimes. And so like when I was younger, I didn't know none of this, so I was just moving subconsciously as myself. But when I was in relationships, it was always kind of me and them. It was like me and them in our own world. Nobody else, you know, could really come in. Like most of my relationships, I dated people who was like me, who was introverted, who was quiet and shy, and really didn't have that much outer friends. So, cause I knew I had control on that situation. They're with me most of the time. When they ain't at work, we together. Like most of my relationships were like that, and it was like I liked that. I felt comfortable with that. I felt safe because nobody, you know, there wasn't many other outer sources that could come in and, you know, mess with what we had going on. So now I really just learning, this is what I think, you know, now as, you know, being a more mature Scorpio, I just feel like the possessiveness is like really, it's not true love, man. That's just what I've come to believe, like that possessiveness is conditional, and in order to really love somebody, you gotta let them go. You gotta let the tight grip go, and that's when you know if you really love them, if you could let them go and still love them, you know. And I just know love is not possession, and I used to put myself and who I was in a relationship with, we used to be in our own little cocoon, so it was like I ain't have nothing to worry about. But now I know, like, in order for me to grow, which I want to do, I want to grow emotionally and open my heart more to love, and in order for me to do that, I have to be able to interact with other people, and if I'm dating somebody, I want them to be able to interact with other people without there being jealousy, control, possessiveness. Now, I don't know if these traits will ever go away, but that's the part of transcending the negative traits. They probably never go away, but you can live above them. Like, it's your demons. You have your demons, you're aware of them, you know your shadow side, but it's about transcending and living in your higher self above them and just being aware of them. And I just know I don't want to be possessive anymore. I don't want to be possessed. I don't like the feeling of being controlled and feeling like I can't do a certain thing because it's gonna probably bother my partner. Like, that's why relationships kind of scare me. I ain't even gonna lie, because it'd be like that. I be want to be as free as I possibly can, and I could tell when somebody has this ideal in their head about who I am, and then if I do anything outside of who they think I am, then I'm like, oh, I'm fake, or I changed, or like, nah, like. And that's why I just believe just possessiveness is not the best, especially, I mean, when you're young, you don't know, and you just living life, and you just with your boyfriend or girlfriend, it's like, it's cool, like. But when you get older, like, I just know that my services here is not to one person, and it's for humanity. And in order to do that, I'm gonna have to be able to I just want to be free and able to do what I want and say what I want, and not have to think of anybody, especially somebody close to me. And I think that's another Scorpio thing. When we get really close to people, that's the thing that makes us most vulnerable. We're most vulnerable when we have really close relationships. Those are the people that are closest to us, that probably could hurt us the most, and probably the ones that we hurt the most too, because we value those relationships a lot, because we don't have many of them. We don't have many like really close relationships. So when it happens, especially with our trust issues, it's just like, it takes us on a emotional, it makes us emotionally vulnerable, and takes us on a like level of sacrifice. It's kind of like, I gotta sacrifice a part of myself for you, because I know myself, and I know I have trust issues, and the way I think about life, and the way I know the mind of man, the minds of men, the minds of human nature. Like I was saying, it could get dark, it could get crazy, it could get deep. But I read this quote, use your imagination for creativity instead of anxiety. And that's one that I feel like really Scorpio should get, because like, it's easy to have very dark thoughts and to constantly be attached to negative outcomes, and thinking about things that could go wrong, and self-sabotage. And trust me, I know it all. It's depression. It's depressing. And I've been there, and I'm thankful. I know it's crazy, like, who wants to be depressed? But I'm so thankful that I've been there, and I know the psychological nature of humanity. It ain't just Scorpios. Like, I feel like Scorpios know it on another level. They know it on a deeper level, but all of humanity has a mind, and we all have these abilities to go down these dark holes, to go down in these negative thoughts, to we creating our reality in our imagination. So I just really I think Scorpios just have a really deep understanding of the minds of people, and that's why we don't trust people sometimes, because it's like, we know we can't really trust nobody but God, for real. And it's like, and that's another thing, like, if you don't trust yourself as a Scorpio, then you probably just really paranoid about everybody else too. Like, that's a fact. Like, that's one thing, because it's like, we have to trust ourselves as our God, higher self within, before we can trust anybody. And even we may never be able to trust anybody, and it always will be just something, but I feel like when we can trust ourselves and do the things we say we're gonna do, and be using our depth of imagination to create instead of wreak havoc, is better for better overall for our lives. I mean, that's our gift, to know the darkness, to know the mind, the psychological nature of men, and to be able to help people transform it and understand themselves. And it's fine. Like, anybody out there watching right now, you don't have to be a Scorpio. Like, we are who we are. We're humans. We have minds. We have this. Everybody, we're the same. Like, we're the same. We just other people choose to put their attention and focus on different things. That's the only real difference between us. We just choose our attention differently. And as a Scorpio, most of my attention goes to research and digging deep and investigating and self-knowledge, and sometimes negative shit, sometimes anxiety, sometimes depression, sometimes not so good things, like wasting my time, or it's just like kind of naturally attracted to that shit sometimes. But I talked about the possessiveness, man, and obsessiveness, definitely we could be obsessive. It's like all or nothing with us. And I think that's why it's just love is like really, it's a big deal. Because I'm a Venus and Scorpio too. So it's like it's a huge deal. It's a huge deal, because we know that the things that we love, especially people, we become obsessed over. And I would say even just dealing with the Scorpio energy and just knowing yourself, just by knowing yourself, know how to move with your dark side, being aware of your dark side and knowing how to move. Like, if you're obsessive, know that, it's probably not best to be obsessive with your partner, because it's usually not healthy. It's probably better to put that obsessive energy into like your career, something that is gonna bring some positive outcomes, you know. But even with being possessive with your partner, I just say like it can get toxic if you're thinking negative things, if you're thinking about bad outcomes and what that person is going to do to you, and not being able to trust them, and being obsessed over thoughts like that, or you know, weird thoughts like that, just being obsessed over them and always thinking about it's not healthy. And that's when you know, like, you know yourself, you got to pull back, you got to focus that obsessive energy somewhere else, put it in a positive, put it in something positive in your life, you know. Because, yeah, we definitely like all or nothing. So, it just is what it is. Jealousy, baby. Come on, let's talk about it. So, the jealousy, yeah, it's definitely, I'm being transparent because we deal with it. Like, all of these things I could say I've dealt with, I know very well. It's a part of human nature, but Scorpios know it on a deeper level. The jealousy, man. Just it kind of like growing up, like I used to be like, nah, I ain't jealous, like, nah, girls be hating on me, I ain't hating on them. But it comes to a point where once you mature and then you really accept yourself for who you are, and then you can see that you'll be doing it too. Like, and it's a part of me that wish I didn't do it, because I was like, because it's no point, it don't serve you at all to be jealous and envious is really the word. Like, especially when I'm not being productive and active, you know. And I know a lot of people go through this. You're not doing nothing with your life. You probably, you know, just scrolling on social media and seeing everybody else's lives, and everybody else is doing something, making videos, making money, got a life going on, and you over there laying in the bed and scrolling. And it does have a sense of like envious. It's something that is hard to admit, but it's like, damn, I wish I was doing that. Like, I wish and all you really got to do is get up and do it, you know, instead of be envious. And that's why I know that even, you know, people that are haters or jealous of celebrities now, or anybody, like, it's usually because that person ain't got really much going on in their life. Because if you had a good life and life was good, unless like that's your career to talk about people like Wendy Williams or some shit, like, unless it's like that, then most people are just gonna be most people that sit around doing nothing are envious and jealous of people that's doing something. And when it comes to relationships, so anyway, like I was saying, I know when I, you know, just being on a big platform and having a bigger audience, people hating and got something to say, it's mostly because it's a reflection of them. Like, you can't really take it personal when it comes to that type of shit. But when it comes to being jealous in relationships, definitely been there. We're afraid of losing a love. And I posted this on my Instagram. Follow me when we win in wellness. You dig? Possessiveness is a sign of insecurity. It feels like you're gonna lose something. Well, first of all, none of this shit is ours. We don't own none of this. We're gonna all return to ash and return back to God as our spirit. So it's almost like an insecurity that we're gonna lose that thing. We're gonna lose that thing that we hold so precious and dear to us, and that's where jealousy comes in a relationship. And just being hurt and just being betrayed, or, you know, putting your all into something with the whole, back to the obsessive thing. You put your all into it and you love them so much and you do all this stuff, and then turns out they betray you. We don't want that. So we kind of like, we get jealous if, you know, somebody else could have a potential to take what we have, you know. And it's never ours. And that's how I learned too. That shit is it's just things that has to be transcended. It is a part of our nature, but as you grow and mature, you learn that, like, it doesn't serve you at all. Just be aware of it when you feel those feelings within you, that Your love can never be threatened because love comes from inside of you, not outside of you. Always remember that love comes from God, your higher self, a higher source. Always it's never coming from anything else but inside of you. Even if you love anything outside of you, you don't. Even if they love you, that love is not coming from them. That love is always coming from inside of you. You know what I'm saying? So just having that, like, the awareness of that, you know, like knowing, yeah, you got a jealous, possessive, obsessive nature, but, you know, just living above it and being aware of it and knowing your true self, which is spirit, which lives above all that shit, all the human nature and the lower nature, you know, things. But, you know, it is a part of what is the word? Our primal nature, just primitive, primal, whatever, nature, our animalistic nature. And those are traits that we have. We are aware of these things. That's what Scorpio energy does. It goes to that nature. It's in the root chakra. It goes beneath. And it understands those natures. It understands the lower natures of man, the animalistic human desires, the human emotions, the human psychology, all that. Like, and we can understand that. And so to live above it, we are not supposed to stay there. We're supposed to transcend it. That's why we're the sign of transformation. That's why we have multiple signs. We have the scorpion or the snake, the eagle and the phoenix. It's levels, you know. And the eagle is like seeing above, seeing from the higher picture, and the phoenix is rising above the ashes and just flying through a whole new level. Like you done got there. You did. Being paranoid, that comes along with just being in the mind a lot, and just understanding the dark nature, understanding the animalistic primal nature of human beings. It makes us paranoid and untrusting of that energy that we know exists in everyone. So it is what it is. And sometimes it'd be hard to know, like, what's intuition and what's paranoid. But for the most part, like when it comes to reading emotions, that's different from paranoia, because I feel like for me, like, I can read emotions, I can read people emotionally, but paranoia is more like just having weird ass thoughts, just having thoughts like, oh, this person is gonna do something with this person, you know, like just paranoid ass shit, bro. It's definitely been there. It's just really a psychological darkness that we can go down and start making up shit, and that comes like self-sabotage. Could just be real self-sabotaging, just destructive. That's a part of Scorpio nature. We're the sign of the 8th house, you know, rebirth, death, destruction. And sometimes it's almost like we have to destroy shit because, like, but every negative should be turned into a positive. That should be like Scorpio mantra. Like, turn your negative into positive. Shout out to Michael Jordan. I was watching that documentary the other day. He said his dad said that. And that just stuck in my mind because that's a fact. And that's something that Scorpios like should definitely live by. Turn every negative into positive, because it's easy for us to be in that negative lower nature so much, that dark nature. And just to use it in a positive way and just try to turn the negative into a positive, you know? And anything, and create instead of feed anxiety. Create with that energy. Make a song about it. Write a poem about it. Write a book about it. Go work out and get that energy out. Get that build up out. Like, it's all about turning it into a positive, like, and not letting it fester and like take over you. Like, it could, and I know it can. I've been there, man. The darkness and how it could just take over you and make you feel crazy, make you feel like you in this place that you alone and you scared and you can't talk to nobody about that shit, like, because it's so crazy and you don't want to be looked at as crazy, yo. I fucking know, bro. That's why I understand this shit so well, and I know what people go through. I don't be judging people when they going through shit. Sometimes I understand, like, I feel like that's why I understand you gotta want to help yourself. You gotta want to look at the bright side. I know it's easy to be looking at the negative side and get stuck in there, man. But it's always the bright side. It's always another side. You gotta turn that negative into a positive. And yeah, but yeah, like I was saying, sometimes that self-sabotage has to happen. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. Sometimes you self-sabotaging and you don't really need to, because you ain't because you can't look at the bright side. So you like, fuck it, I'm just about to tear all this shit up. And sometimes it be like that, but we know every ending is a new beginning. Every death is a rebirth, and that's just life. Like, so it's cycles, but as a mature Scorpio, one day you just gotta get it. You gotta know, like, let's put this in a positive energy. Let's do something with this instead of just hold on to it and leave it inside and let it build up. Let's bring it out and turn it into something positive, man. So I think I talked about the manipulation a little bit already. Just how we could be manipulative emotionally and stuff. And that's definitely a fact. Even when it comes to little stuff, like Scorpio is a very nurturing, and I would say very nurturing, loving energy. We could really transform people and heal people. Definitely a healing energy. Like different rebirth, but you're gonna have to go through that pain. If that's what it is, that's what we come with. You're gonna have to go through, you might have to go through some shit with a Scorpio, some pain, some shit that hurts in order to be transformed and reborn. Like, if you willing to stick around, you got it, and not blame them. A lot of Scorpios get blamed for the shit that, they do, or, a person is like, oh, this person ruined my life. But sometimes it's actually deeper than that. It's actually a transformation going on, like, after that. Like, it's always pain before, the brightness, the sun. It's always, rain before the rainbow, like, So it be like that. But the manipulating thing, just little stuff, like when I was younger, I used to overcompensate, and that just comes with the possessiveness and obsessiveness and getting what we want emotionally. We manipulate. Like, when I was younger, I used to overcompensate and try to do everything for a man. You try to be wifey of the year, I'm young, like, and trying to just be the best woman, or what I thought a best woman was. Like, I ain't care. Like, I wanted to be the best girlfriend. Like, I wanted this man to love me and think that I was the best. Like, and it's more of an emotional manipulation. We do stuff to get what we want, and we know what people want. So, like, cooking for a man, cleaning, talking to him, being there for him, paying for shit. I was doing it all, paying for shit. I was, just being that mother figure, just all of that. And in reality, we think we're being emotionally manipulating, which we are. Like I said, I didn't know what I was doing. I ain't had no name to put on it back then, but now I know it is. It is a type of emotional manipulation, especially if you're overcompensating. And I just learned that was a need to keep a person, a need to possess. So I did things I did those things to get what I wanted and to keep what I wanted. But in the end, that shit don't help either. It don't do anything. Like, it really is just, really what I learned is put yourself first. You gotta love yourself first. You gotta love yourself and know that you really don't need anyone but yourself, and the love of your higher power is always there with you to give you, to provide anything you need, always sitting in the background waiting for you to come to him, instead of trying to search for the love outside of yourself and possess people. See, when you have real love for yourself, when you love yourself, you don't have to possess people. You don't have to, because you already got it. Like, you know, it comes from within you. So that's empowerment. That's empowerment in yourself. You don't have to need nothing from nobody. It's always good to give. Like, we're here to give. We're here to help. But when you try to manipulate and get what you want because you feel you need something, but you really don't need anything, because you already have it within yourself. Your higher self and everything is already provided from you. So when you have to manipulate and control emotionally, that means you're missing something, or you feel a need to fill a void, or it's manipulation, man. And I just learned that. That's what we do, though. And we've done it. And, you know, like I said, until you get to a more mature state of being a Scorpio, then you figure this stuff out. And that's when you find empowerment in yourself, and you put yourself first and start doing the things that you need to do for yourself. And nobody else can. You don't need nobody else to do it for you, because you have it. You're empowered. You know what I'm saying? Like, and yeah, I wrote down Aries. You know, Mars rules Aries and the co-ruler of Scorpio as well. So Aries is like the go-getter, the outward. It's the soldier. It goes out, and Scorpio is the more like a soldier, but the good that goes in. It's an internal battle. It's an internal fight of knowing thyself, and the cycles are gonna keep repeating themselves until you realize that the power is within you. That's why Scorpio is the sign of personal power. That's why we know this shit. That's why that's what I'm here for. I have all this Scorpio in my chart to be able to know this shit and share it with other people, because it's not just Scorpios that go through this shit. Everybody go through this shit in life and feel like they gotta look outside themselves for love and personal power, and when you have it inside of you already. Like, that's what our gifts are, you know. And playing the victim role, I wrote that down. Playing the victim role is another thing I feel like Scorpios do for emotional manipulation. Definitely good at that. Definitely good at being, oh, poor me, or And it's funny, because when I do that shit, I be wanting people to be there for me and listen to me when I be feeling like the victim. When I know, especially now, back then I ain't know, but especially now I know how much power I have within myself, and that when I'm playing the victim role and the poor me role, that I'm just fucking playing myself, because I know how much power really lies within me. I know that shit is manipulating. So when I do, I used to want people to be there for me, and, you know, but when other people do it, now I see, like, yo, you putting on a fucking show. Like, you're choosing that victim role, because do you know how much fucking power you got within yourself to change your situation? So I understand being there for somebody and listening to them and supporting them. But at the same time, when a person is constantly in a victim role and they coming to you always to fill that victim void or to complain, it's like, come on. After a time, I'm just looking at you like, I ain't got no sympathy for you, cause you always playing the victim role. Like, get up. Like, you got more power than that. That's how. And it's a little I could get a little mean with it, and it's crazy. Like I said, sometimes I be in that mode, and I be wanting somebody to, you know, feel me when I'm in that victim mode. So I just understand both sides of it, you know. But it's like, and at the end of the day, we have more power, and we can control our circumstances, and we ain't gotta keep complaining and pouting about the same thing over and over once we take control of our lives. And yeah, I've said almost everything. One more thing I would say: the vengeful and vindictiveness of Scorpios. It's definitely a thing. I used to be like, nah, like I ain't vengeful or vindictive, like, cause I really don't ever consciously make an effort to get somebody back. Like they be saying about Scorpios, like, we're vengeful and we want to get people back. But on an emotional level, I can see where I've done that in the past. I can see where just growing up, just being alone at a certain point in my life, when I was a teenager, just really feeling like I'm alone. I don't need nobody. And I allowed myself to cut off everybody, distance myself, family, friends, like emotionally, like, and that could be seen as vindictiveness or vengeful, because I'm just gonna take myself away from y'all and not give myself to y'all and not trust y'all, you know, instead of open up and be close, you know. And it is, I guess it could be seen as it's vengeful, because it's like it's still some resentment that was held that made me become that way. But it, you know, as a child, I didn't know. I was just like, this is me. Like, everybody abandoned me. I'm cool. Like, you know, I'ma just live my life, you know, and not be close to anybody and not trust anybody, and you know. So, and it's like we hurt ourselves at the end of the day. It's really like it's like, you ever seen, I've seen these things where they put a Scorpio in a jar, and a Scorpio will kill itself, will sting itself before it lets whoever captured it, you know, kill it. Like we rather it's like the self-sabotage thing. We rather kill ourselves before we let somebody else do it by the hand of somebody else. Like that's kind of how it is. Like it's crazy, but it's kind of like that. But holding resentment and being vengeful, we're only hurting ourselves. So I think just Scorpios and just knowing our nature like that, all these things, like I said, is for us to help transform ourselves and live in a higher nature and transcend that lower nature once you become aware of it. I know it's hard sometimes because you like, nah, this is who I am. Like, I ain't fuck with these people, or like, this is who I am. But once, I feel like I'm still in the process of growing and learning too. So I know that I still have a lot of growth to do. I've just become, I don't know if that's the eagle, I feel. The evil, like the point where I'm just aware of my dark side, and I don't know, I haven't transcended it all yet, which it becomes the phoenix, but I'm definitely aware of it and can see the bigger picture, you know what I'm saying, and know that my lower nature is not, you know, who I am as a spirit. On a spiritual level, I can transcend all of that, and but, you know, it's difficult sometimes, because even if you're trying to be in your higher self, you know that people out here living in their lower self, and it's kind of like you still kind of have to have this defense up. It's just a lot. And but I feel like once we're living in our higher nature and being really just more openly loving and aware, and it's easier. Life is just easier. Being more loving and giving is just better. It feels better. We love to laugh. It's like we love to laugh, but most of the time I'm walking around with the resting bitch face. I ain't even gonna cap. But I love to laugh, man. But it's kind of like not a lot of people get to see that, because I've shut myself off. I've closed myself off from the world, and just went into my own little cave, my own little Scorpio corner, and but I just understand the importance of coming out of that and transcending that. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys. I done made a long ass video. I ain't meaning to be this long, but you guys, let me know what you think. All the Scorpios, people that ain't Scorpios, holla at me. Let me know what you think about Scorpios in the box. Let me know if y'all want to add anything in the comments, whatever. Holla at me. You guys already know we winning wellness. Put your crowns on and keep your crowns on, because we winning. You did. And let me guys know if you want more astrology videos, because I'm always talking about astrology, so I need to make more fucking videos on like different signs and shit, and all types of shit. All right, but let me know if you guys enjoyed this video. You guys take care. Peace.